Corporate America ain't what it used to be. Millions of Americans are walking away from their corporate jobs. Let's get into it.
I'm meant to be an employee. I genuinely don't think I'm meant to be an employee because yes, hello, I'm the idiot that quit her almost 90K job in North Carolina, was able to afford a luxury apartment all by herself, lived by myself, and then quit said job, moved to New York, and is now working minimum wage at a coffee shop for $16.50 an hour. Why did I do that, you ask? Who knows? Actually, I know. I was miserable and burnt out, and being an auditor was just not for me, and I needed to get back to New York. Am I happier in New York? Yes. Am I poorer in New York? Also, yes. Such is life. So it's been 3 shifts so far at my new job. I thought I'd be a barista. I'm a glorified sandwich maker. No, I'm literally a sandwich maker. It's like a bagel shop, and I'm making sandwiches all day. Here's the thing. I've worked in the service industry ever since I could have a job. The only time I haven't worked in the service industry, specifically with food, was my first job as an intern at a law firm in New York City, and the past 2.5 years when I was in corporate doing auditing. First, I was an IT auditor at a big 4 accounting firm. Then I was an internal auditor at a small bank. Working at the coffee shop feels better than corporate just because feels like what I do actually and I can talk to people. However, I forgot how irritating it is to my soul. And maybe it just became irritating to my soul, but the thought of telling someone or even asking or telling another adult, hey, can I use the bathroom? I gotta go to the bathroom. And it's nobody's fault. I'm not mad at an individual person. They didn't make up, it's busy, it's a place, we need to let each other know if we're leaving. However, as a grown adult, having to share that with other grown adults doesn't feel good in my soul. I'm not meant to be an employee. I genuinely don't think I'm meant to be an employee because having to tell other adults, having to ask permission to take time off, having to tell them that I'm gonna go pee, it doesn't sit right with my soul. Now, what is the game plan for Miss $16.50 an hour? This job should be enough to cover all my bills. How do I know that? Because I budget and tracked it. I have the tracker in my linked in my bio, so I know what my bills are, and they should be in and around anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month, depending on how frivolous I am with my spending. I need to get rich by yesterday though, because I don't like not having money. I was making about $4,200 a month. The plan is to replace that salary, at least make $5,000 a month through social media. By when? By June. By the time my lease is up.
Man, this ain't even about being lazy no more. People are just burnt out.
So I quit my job on Tuesday. It's kind of a difficult thing to come to, but here are the reasons why. We have this thing in America today where it's so go, 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 let's go to the next big thing, create this large scale income, do this, do that. Yeah. It's why not just live and be good people every now and then? Point being, do not take your mental health for granted. I would wake up every day wanting to get sick, not wanting to do what I was doing. I was talking to 250 people a day. It bared on me a lot mentally. And the company I worked with was fantastic. I could not speak more highly of the people, the supervisor that I had, just the community around me that was biblical in nature as well. Fantastic group. But the job itself was very high stress, very high need, very high failure rate. I'm not against failure. It was the type of failure you were getting in this position where my head was basically, it felt like I was being beat against a wall continually. It was like a bang, next call, bang, next call, bang, next call, 20-minute call here, it's a no, bang, next call. I couldn't process. I was having panic attacks regularly. I was not liking the person I saw in the mirror every day. I was not being the husband and father that I thought I needed to be. I was not wanting to reach out to friends to even have conversations. I was wanting to go to bed as soon as I got off work every day and not want to work out. All these things that bled into who I am not at my core. And I say all this to say that you are more than a job. If you ever get to the point where you're so unhappy with who you are, what you're doing every day, to where you don't want to get up and do it, that's a problem. If you're not able to self-evaluate and maybe talk to someone that's close to you and then put yourself in check if you can't do it yourself, of, hey, maybe this is not a good thing for you, it's a problem. I'm obviously a huge advocate of working hard and doing what you can to progressively get by in the world, but you gotta enjoy your life too. You gotta have fun every now and then. And work isn't always gonna be fun, but if 90% of the time you're not wanting to do what you're doing, it's a problem. Just start to reevaluate things around you. And if you're questioning yourself and your identity and who you are, your core, as much as I was, based off a job or an extenuating circumstances may be outside of your control, try to put it in your control. And in turn, see how things around you start to change based on that one physical circumstance that you chose to get out of.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to cry, break down. I don't know. But I quit my job yesterday. I got called into HR to get offered a demotion for a position that I had not even started. I was still in training because they wanted to put somebody else in that position. These work environments are toxic. It is a war on African American women. I don't care who you are or what you think. I know for a fact because I have been in it. It started July 7th and it has not stopped. So I quit my job yesterday. I walked away from my job, and I want you all to know something. I will wholeheartedly let my car get repossessed. I will not have car insurance. I will go without before I suffer in another toxic work environment. I will go without before I suffer in a toxic work environment. So if you are out there and you see this and you think that it is okay to suffer in a work, it is not. It is not. And I will never do that shit again. I will 10 out of 10 quit every time. So if you're out there and you're going through it, baby, I know what it feels like. The most peace I've had was today since starting that job. Sisters, this is your sign to get up.
Man, she felt like she had a target on her back, man. Watch this next one.
I quit my high-paying corporate job 6 months ago. Let's talk about it. Am I happier is the most important question. Yes. Am I broke as shit? Yes. I've been describing to people that like I feel a lot less mentally burnt out, but I'm feeling very physically burnt out. I've been working front desk at 2 different studios that teach Pilates, and I'm also getting my Pilates certification. So like the days are very physically demanding, and I'm getting up at like 5 in the morning and like also doing like customer service things. So like talking to people all day, which I love. But like by the time I get home, I'm like, don't ask anything of me. In corporate, I was like mentally miserable and going through gymnastics every day, like trying to justify like why I was there, and also dealing with like difficult people like all the time, like honestly more difficult than customer service, to be honest. But what I will say is a huge stressor is money. Not having as much money as I used to have, stressing about money, it's like an additional new stress. Also, like talking to my friends that still work in corporate jobs, like our lives are so different, and you can kind of feel that divide between us, especially when they're like going on nice vacations and buying nice things, and I'm like, not me. I'm also getting like slightly disillusioned with the Pilates world. I still love Pilates and I still really want to help people with chronic pain, but when you walk away from corporate, you kind of realize that every job has its drawbacks, and it's like, what are you willing to compromise on? I ultimately want to have my own Pilates business, and I also want to expand into somatic work. I've already done a couple of different courses on that, but like I really want to help people one-on-one deal with chronic pain and trauma, and also like even more broadly like recovery, which is like kind of covering a lot of ground, but I just genuinely want to use my story to help other people. So that's kind of what motivates me to get up every day, and like knowing that this grind is like temporary. Me exiting the corporate world is probably the best thing I've ever done. I've like talked to recruiters and considered full-time opportunities, but honestly none of them have really panned out, and I'm very grateful for that I didn't just like immediately go and join another company after leaving my last toxic job. But like life is hard, it's uncertain. I don't know what the next couple months are gonna look like. I don't know when I'm gonna start making more money. It's definitely a lot of different kind of stress. So am I glad that I quit? 100%. Is my life magically perfect? No. And I feel like I'd rather accept this hard than the hard of like denying myself and like forcing myself into a career that I didn't give a shit about and that made me deeply unhappy. So yeah, my message is to quit your job.
Man, she felt like she had a target on her back, man. Watch this next one.
I need you to cancel your surgery that you have for next week.
Cancel it?
Like right now. Like literally right this second. I need you to go and cancel it, reschedule it, do whatever you have to do. But we actually really need you here next week.
Well, I have surgery, and that you can't just reschedule like easily like that. I really need to get it. So that's not happening.
Reschedule it though. It's not the end of the world. It's not like threatening.
Well,
you look fine to me.
You already approved my medical leave. You can't just take it back like that.
I can, as your manager, I can do whatever I want, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, if you think that, then maybe I should just like find a new job at this point.
I mean, if you don't come here, like, yeah, maybe you should find a new job. But if I'm asking you to do something like just cancel or reschedule, you should be able to. You work in corporate, like, this
Okay.
is a given.
So you expect me to put work over like my health and well-being. So I'm gonna officially resign, and I'm gonna send this transcript over to HR, and they'll understand why. And I'm sure they'll be reaching out to you.
Okay, and good luck even finding a job after this, because you suck.
2 weeks ago, I submitted my resignation from my corporate job. I was making $90,000 a year. I was a talent acquisition manager working for a company owned by a PE firm. I was in line for a promotion for a director level position with a $50,000 pay increase, and I resigned. Hi, my name is Katie. I spent over a decade climbing the HR corporate ladder. On paper, I was winning. In reality, I was waking up at 2 a.m. every day in a panic, not able to go back to sleep for hours. I had my annual physical this year, and my cholesterol has skyrocketed, and my resting glucose is high. I couldn't tell you the last time I worked out. I have no energy to do anything. I turned 36 this month, and I finally realized there is no corporate job or title that is worth my health. So I resigned without any backup plan other than creating content. I do have an emergency fund of $60,000. That's what gave me the safety net to quit this job. And my husband, Jake, does have a full-time job to cover our basic needs. My cost of living is very low because I pet sit full-time, so I don't have a cost of living. This is not going to be a aesthetically curated TikTok account. So if that is what you were looking for, this is not the place for you. I'm an average 36-year-old trying to build a community and build a business that helps me and others like me along the way. So we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about food because I've got to change my diet. I've got to get my cholesterol lower. I have got to start exercising and lifting heavy weights to get ready for perimenopause. If you are currently sitting at your desk at a job that you hate, wondering if there's another way to survive, follow along. Let's figure this out together and see what happens next.
My corporate job was making me miserable, antisocial, and honestly weird, so I quit. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it so I didn't have to worry about finances. I took this job during a very transitional time in my life. I had just moved to a new city. I thought it was exactly what I needed, but I ended up hating it because I am not meant for corporate. When I finally decided to leave, the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that they wanted me to take on the role of 2 people for a $3,000 raise a year. The people I worked with were lovely. I just knew that I could make way more money than $3,000 a year working for myself because I have done it before. Anyway, after that conversation, I kind of started to panic because I needed to make a lot more money than they were offering. So I started to think, what skills do I have and how can I use them to make money? Obviously love social media and editing videos, so I ended up getting a couple of clients on retainer to do their social media accounts for them. Social media clients started paying me a monthly retainer, and then I started banking the money from my corporate job as much as I could. I worked for the social media in the morning and at night after work, and then I worked my corporate job from 8 to 5. I was extremely tired at this time, but I had an end goal in mind, so I just kept pushing through. Now I could survive on those 2 social media retainers alone, but obviously I wanted to be making a lot more money during this time. That was the whole point. And I've had my real estate license for years, but I had just moved to a new city. I needed to reactivate it in the new city that I was in. I did all the paperwork to get my license reactivated, and then I started talking to somebody who runs an apartment locating brokerage, which is basically like being a realtor, but for apartments. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a growing city. It's kind of following the same patterns as Nashville, so a lot of people are moving here, which is a great opportunity to be an apartment realtor. Now I've been selling real estate for a really long time, so this was a nice little transition back into my old life. So because I held out and I stayed in my corporate job a little bit longer, I was able to save up an emergency fund, and the retainers from my current social media clients pay all my necessary bills. I guess the moral of the story is to believe in yourself enough to leave your current situation, and also make sure you set yourself up for success and don't just jump ship before you're ready. Okay, go quit your job now.
You can hear how checked out they are. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. It is official. I've put in my resignation. I am quitting my corporate job, letting go of the salary, and just putting my faith in the universe and seeing what happens. It feels really good. It really does. It feels really good. So why today? Why now? The honest truth is I had a dream last night. I had a nightmare last night, and I woke up this morning and I just knew it's time. It's time. No more putting it off. No more denying my instincts. No more pretending like everything is okay just for a paycheck. And it's time for me to move forward with what's next in my life. And no, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I'm obviously going to continue to keep pushing my social media and see where that takes me. And I don't know. And I feel okay about that. I feel actually great about that. It feels actually really good to have finally just made the decision. So yeah, the resignation is in. I am doing the last of my work today. Next week, I'll use up the last of my vacation time. And at the end of the month, that's it. Moving forward. I'm actually really excited about it. So here we go.
I quit my 6-figure corporate job almost 3 years ago, and I've done some pretty unhinged things to make sure that I never have to go back again. So let's talk about it. Number 1, I took a pay cut. I knew that walking away from a stable 6-figure salary was a risk, but my nervous system was shot, and I had to do what was best for me and my family. Number 2, I've said no to unaligned projects. I know that that sounds counterintuitive when I'm trying to do things to not make me go back to corporate, but if I am not aligned to the work that I'm doing or aligned to the project, I have no business getting paid to do it. Number 3, I've built intentional multiple income streams. I do career coaching. I've built digital career resources that are all very affordable and under $100. And I have fractional talent strategy and consulting. I've also done dog walking. I've also done Upwork projects. I've done resume audits. I would love to do more brand deals and affiliate partnerships, all intentional. So that means that I am not relying on one employer or one client for a paycheck. Number 4, I've had to do a lot of identity work. As a high achiever, corporate millennial, eldest daughter, work was my identity until I had multiple life-changing events, including having kids. I now have the belief that work is what you do, not who you are. Number 5, I had to get really comfortable with inconsistent income streams. There are some months where I make double or triple what I was making in corporate, which is amazing. And then some months I'm barely making enough to cover our bills. But I've had to get comfortable riding the wave because I am now a business owner. Number 6, I had to stop asking for permission to pivot. No one was going to tap me on the shoulder and say, Katie, you're ready for your next level. I have to decide on my own what it is that I want and then go after that thing. So I'm really curious, what resonated with you?
At some point, the paycheck isn't worth it. Watch this.
I took a leap of faith and I quit my 8 to 5 because it stressed me out mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. Mind you, I had no backup plan. I have no savings account. I have bills, rent, car note, a kid. I got to put food in my house, everything. Just a little background. I just got foot surgery on April the 1st. I was working from home for 2 months, from the second week of April till June 1st. June 1st was my first day back in the office. When I had about 2 weeks left until it was time for me to go back into the office, I was praying every single day, God, please make a way so that I do not have to go back to this office. When I say I prayed every day, I prayed every day. You know how God say, pray without ceasing? That was me. That job gave me so much anxiety that, you know how like on Sundays, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to go to work tomorrow. Oh my goodness. All this anxiety is all stirred up. My anxiety started on Fridays after work. I already knew it was time to go back to work Monday morning. The weekends was going so fast. Weekends felt pointless at this point because it's just like my whole life is revolved around this job that I hate. So anyways, back to when I got my surgery on my foot. I was working from home for 2 months. And when I tell you that I couldn't even enjoy working from home because of the anxiety of having to go back to work in 2 months. 2 months of anxiety about having to go back into the office. Also, I rode the train. I'm in DC, so I would have to ride the train, which is about a 45-minute ride. Also, I have to drop my daughter off to my grandparents' house in the morning. I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was getting off of work at 5 o'clock, and I wasn't getting home until almost 7 o'clock every single day because I had to pick my daughter up from aftercare. I say all that to say that my whole life was revolved around this corporate job that I did not like. What was stressing me out so bad is that everything was so urgent. Everything was urgent except for a pay raise.
I cannot make this up. My first day back into the office was June 1st. And that day at work, I made an executive decision that today's my last day. With all that being said, I am 100% relying on the Lord. Okay? Maybe when I say bills are due, they're due now. They're not waiting. But I have so much faith in God right now that, and when I say God, I mean the Son, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's my God. I have so much faith in God that I'm not worrying. I have delusional faith to the point that my whole family is like, you got a lot of faith, baby. 'Cause, and one thing that I learned is that everything isn't for everybody. My journey is not for everybody, you know, but I did pray that God will make me an example of what having faith looks like. And so in this season, while I'm waiting for the Lord to move, I actually have the chance to be still. I have the chance to be still. I have not been able to be still in years. And I have to get out of the mindset of it's not going to be easy, it's going to be hard, because says who? Says who? Why does it have to be hard? I am trusting in God to make this a breeze for me. I am trusting in God to pay all of my bills. He's a provider. He's a provider. And I need it to be where it's not surface level, where we understand that he's a God that can do anything. And so I asked God to make me an example of what real faith looks like. And so I think I'm going to start to like record my journey, I guess, and just kind of give someone hope that when all you need is faith, you know, in God, that whatever it is that you're going through, whatever season you're in your life right now, that you can make it through because you have God on your side. One thing that I've been doing consistently every single day is I've been reading Speaking Life Over My Circumstances every single day. I got it from another user on the other app. I don't think I can say that word on here, IG, but another user from another app did Speaking Life Over My Circumstances. And the one thing that I like about it the most is it's all biblical. It's things straight out of the Bible. It's not like you're just manifesting, like you're actually speaking biblical truth over your life. So if you want me to share that, let me know and I will share that in another video. But that has been helping me keep my faith so high. And whenever I feel like, oh no, okay, what are you doing? Maybe you made the wrong decision. Maybe things aren't going to work out. What if you get put out of your apartment? Every time those thoughts come to my mind, I know that that's not me and that's the enemy. And so I have to rebuke him. Hey, beat it. Okay? You have no power or authority over me, my life, my present or my future, you know, and I'll be good after that. The thoughts will disappear. So follow along for my journey, because baby, we're figuring this out together at the same time in real time. But share a time with me that you had delusional faith about something and nobody else could see it, but it worked out for you.
Ridiculous, bro. Like, if y'all know anybody that's going through these problems, man, let me know in the comments. These jobs don't be worth it at times, bro. You doing all that for this corporation, but this corporation will eat you, boy. They'll eat you and poop you out. And yeah, that's it, man. Let me know if y'all going through it, man. Let's get in this bit of Josh and talk to him, boy. And I just talked to you, boy. I'll see y'all in the next one.